of Michael Jordan telling a flight attendant not to feed Horace Grant after Grant had a bad game. Well, that led Horace to directly contact Shannon after the show. So Shannon, please tell us, what did Horace Grant have to say about the situation and about his relationship with MJ?
So yesterday, probably around, Skip, I say 1 o'clock my time, maybe a little later, I got a text message. Horace Grant wants to get in touch with you. Do you mind if I give him your number? I'm like, sure, no problem. So about 5-10 minutes later, Skip, my phone is ringing, but I don't recognize the number. I don't answer numbers I don't recognize, sorry. And so leaves a voicemail, check it out. Sharp, it's me, Ho Grant. Give me a call at your earliest convenience. Okay, I called him back. I said, what's up, Ho? He said, hey, Sharp, how you doing? So we start talking, Skip. I'm from rural South Georgia. He grew up in Sparta, Georgia, which is more middle Georgia. We're about a little over 2 hours apart from each other. So I'm very familiar with Horace Grant and where he grew up, and he and his brother. So we start talking. I said, okay, bro, shoot me straight. What's going on with this deal? I mean, Mike saying you can't eat, lotta. He said, Sharp, I'm telling you 100%, that did happen. He said there's the flight attendants, they're serving us, and he touches the flight attendant and says, hey, he doesn't eat because he played like poop. And Ho said he stood up and said, F you, Mike. So he went back to confront Mike. One of his teammates, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, he said it was Brad Sellers. He said, nah, G, don't worry about it. It's not worth it. He said there are several times that he and Mike almost came to blows. He told me that it started from the day he got there, that Mike started this, what we would term bullying, from the very first moment that he walked in. So they always had heated practice. There was always a source of contention with him and Mike. And he told me, Skip, he said, Mike, this is the way Mike was. If you did not confront Mike, he would ride you every day, all the time. He said you had to stand up for yourself. He said, really, the only person that Mike didn't do that to was you know who, and the guy you know who is number 34, Charles Oakley. Horace said that he and Charles still speak to this day. He and Charles are very good friends. He said, but he had a problem. He said, I didn't have a problem with Mike, the player. I just had a problem with Mike trying to motivate me to get me to do my job. And he said, nah, that wasn't going to happen. He says, I did speak up for myself. There were several times that I was going to confront Mike and put my hands on Mike. He said, Skip, they asked him about this in the video. He said, Sharp, I looked dead into the camera. I said, Mike didn't want to see me then, and he damn sure doesn't want to see me now. They cut that out. He says, there's some, Skip, I'm not going to get into the other stuff. I said, he said, look, I want you to tell everything what I'm telling you. I said, nah, bruh. I don't feel comfortable saying that. Some of the other things that he told me, I say, but as soon as Fox Studio is up and running and we can have guests in, I want you to come on and you tell that side of the story. Skip, I don't feel comfortable saying all the things that what he told me. I'm going to let him share that with y'all.
Drove Horace hard. He saw right away that Horace sometimes needed to have his fire relit. He didn't always play with the focus and the fire that Jordan demanded. And it got a little ugly, and it got a little ruthless, and it got a little heartless. That's who Michael is and was. That was the guy whose whole life was committed to winning championships. In the biggest picture, Horace Grant was blessed to play with Michael Jordan. As much crap as he took from Michael, as demeaning as it was, as insulting to his manhood as it was courtesy of Michael Jordan that Horace won 3 rings right out of the box there, 91, 92, 93. 3 times he won championships in a row, in large part because of Michael Jordan. That's the guy and again, Michael was the unofficial head coach of that team and the unquestioned leader of that team, and he drove everybody similarly. But like the great coaches that we talk about who decide, I need to motivate different players different ways, he motivated Horace ruthlessly by challenging his manhood. And again, I'm sure Horace was that close to wanting to throw down and let's just see who's the most man here. I'm sure he's very close to fighting Michael, and he deserved to.
Yep.
I got it. It was worthy of fisticuffs. And I'm with you. If you put me in that situation, I know for sure if you put you in that situation, them is fighting words. You're going to have to see who's the most man, because you have to defend your dignity. But yet, that's Michael Jordan. And I've never defended the how of it. I've just defended the it of it, because that's how he won 6 championships in 6 tries with 6 MVPs, because he was psycho-driven. And yet he had high basketball IQ, high psychological IQ, and he decided that there's a weakness in Horace that he's going to challenge and make Horace try to rise up to Michael's level. And if he'd wanted to fight, I'm sure Michael would have been happy to fight him. And could Horace have won that fight? Maybe. It's 6'10 versus 6'6. Maybe he could have. And Horace was a guy who averaged a couple of years 10 rebounds. So he had the ability to be tough. But Michael didn't think he was always tough enough and focused enough and driven enough game in and game out. So when he didn't show up, Michael told the flight attendant, no food for him on the way home. And it's Michael's way of saying, you're not worthy of food. But it's not like Michael locked him in the closet and said, you can't eat for 48 hours. He obviously was able to eat when he got home. But in the end, you have to realize that Horace Grant had a great ride, because he did win 3 championships. Then he did make the All-Star team. And guess what all that got him? It got him a 5-year, $50 million deal with Orlando. So he got to leave after 94, which was Michael's baseball year. So when Michael came back, Horace was in Orlando. And in those days, in 94, $50 million, which he got all of, that was a lot of money, man. That was big money. So Horace got paid. So the sacrifice he made, the price he paid, to have to live with Michael Jordan's abuse paid off, because he won championships. And then he was blessed enough later in his career, 2001, he got to win a 4th ring with Shaq and Kobe.
And so, like I said, Skip, I told you yesterday, and you know some of the things that I've said. I'm like, Skip, I don't feel comfortable saying that on air. That needs to come from Horace's mouth. And I said the first chance that we get and we can open up that lot, Grant, you need to come on our show and you need to tell your side of the story. I said, because I can't do it justice like you can.